Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to do something, I guess this will be considered a random question, but like a super random question. Someone asked something very interesting and I thought it would be kind of fun to do that. But before that, I wanted to thank everyone for all the love and support you've been showing in my channel, and I am kind of glad I'm coming back, little, right? I still don't feel like I have the energy to actually read. Like I still feel like everything's a little bit muddy. I feel like it does take a little bit of extra energy to read things in a more balanced way, but I do feel that if I'm doing something for fun, it will definitely help a lot more than if I'm doing something that I feel is a little bit more serious. And in this sense, we are doing something definitely a lot more fun than usual, because this is a question that I'm taking very seriously, but at the same time, not really. And by that I mean we're gonna have all the fun in the world, because the question is, why does Hoshi want to be seen as a tiger? That's what someone commented, and I thought it was going to be kind of fun to answer that question, because it was one of those things that when I read that comment, I was like, I did not even know I had this question in mind until I read it, and I think it was going to be very interesting. However, I do want to change it a little bit. Before we answer that question, I want to ask a different question, and that will be, what does, how do I word this? What do tigers mean to Hoshi? Like, first I want to see, like, if we understand what a tiger means to him, then we might get an idea as to why he wants to be seen as one. I think that's the issue, right? Like, we all have different ideas as to what tigers mean to us. I bet it changes depending on our culture, and it also on our own experiences. Like, my idea of what a tiger means and what it signifies is going to be definitely a lot different than for somebody else that probably doesn't really have an opinion about tigers. So, putting that all aside, I have a bunch of decks here, of oracle decks that have words in them, because I have a feeling that it will be very interesting to see what Hoshi will have to say if it comes through. But the first thing that I'm going to start with is, for Hoshi, what do tigers mean? Okay, so the first card that we have is Epoch, I guess. Pause in your journey, number 7. And the other card that we have is Liberation, free yourself. So, I'll put them like that. So right off the bat, it feels like, to him, tigers are a form of freedom, probably a way to express himself. This card, I just got it because it's a tiger, but aside from that, I wasn't going to take any meaning from it, so we'll ignore that card and what it means. But yeah, we have 13 and 7, so it feels like there's a sense of stability and like being free and letting go of something, or allowing some sort of, I guess, persona come out of him. So I'm guessing that to him, tigers are like a way that he can get some sort of energy out, and that shows that it's kind of like a way of expressing himself, and I guess that expression is something that makes him feel free, liberated, and some sense of like a lightweight energy. Like, it makes him feel lighter, it makes him feel like some baggage is gone. I'm not too sure what that baggage could be. However, one of the things that I'm seeing is like this oh, okay, is this like white snake, whatever this is. It made me think of a dragon, so it kind of made me feel that it wraps him with power, potentially. Like, he feels very empowered when he compares himself to a tiger, or when he says that he's a tiger. Like, to him, tigers mean power, it means freedom, it means liberation, and I believe it will also symbolize to him some sort of expression. I just kind of chuckled to myself a little bit, because this was one of the cards that my younger sister looked at and was like, this deck makes me think of Skyrim because of the dragons. Okay, now if we look at the other one, we have Pause in your journey. So I have a feeling that he could have gotten this idea of being compared or seen as a tiger when he was in a moment of solitude. Not necessarily stagnation, just solitude. He was probably I'm laughing again because Solitude is a city in Skyrim. For those people that don't know, Skyrim is a game. I don't know why I'm thinking of that game. Anyway, maybe he thought it was his calling to be a tiger. Maybe he just out of nowhere felt like, yeah, tigers is the way to go. Yeah, tigers are what I feel comfortable with. But maybe he got this idea when he was in a period of isolation, or when he was a period just thinking of silent, of like deep thought, and he was just within his own energy and was like, yes, tiger is the way to go. Because it almost feels like an idea just blossomed out of nowhere within his head. It feels like other people could have helped him come up with this idea. Like, and the way that the help could have happened is like along his journey, maybe people didn't have, maybe I'm getting two ways. Some people could have been like, okay, like what, think of an animal that makes you feel these certain things, and then he was like, perfect, it's a tiger. But I also feel that with other people it could have been like maybe putting him down somehow, and that's why it's like, no, I'm a tiger. You know what I mean? Like he may have decided to use the tiger as a form of expressing his power and to express his sense of freedom, and that's what he uses as a symbol to express that. That's what it could potentially be. Now, let's ask the same question again. What do tigers mean to Hoshi? Throw them all out. Oh. I want that one. So yeah, we have Swan Spirit. Time for a deep dive. So this one kind of turned a little bit when I was shuffling. So yeah, it kind of shows that I see that as like confirmation that yeah, to him tigers was like something that came into his mind when he was in deep thought, or when he was doing some soul searching, or trying to figure out who he is or how he wants to be seen, something along those lines. So I don't really know when he started saying like, oh, you know, I'm a tiger, but I'm saying I don't know that because I think it will be important to know when fans started hearing about it, to get an idea as to what was happening around that time, or what energy could be felt within him around that time that will be like, oh, so that's why he started that. You know what I mean? I don't really remember. But yeah, swan. To me, swans symbolize transformation. So I do feel that there was just at some point in his life that he went through some sort of transformation that told him, no, I'm going to be empowered. I'm going to be free. I'm going to express myself this way. And that's why the tiger was what he uses as a symbol to express all of that freedom, that power, and that self-expression that comes way deep within him. So yeah, it's something that is very important to him, even though we clown him for it. Yeah. So let's see. What do tigers need to Hoshi? The other card that we have is a dolphin spirit. This and that are true. So I think that he knows. I think Hoshi's very, very aware as to why he wants to be seen as a tiger. We don't know about it, and that's perfectly fine. I think that, you know, if he doesn't want to say specifically why he wants to be seen as a tiger, that's on him. However, I do feel that it's something very important to him, and I'll see if I can get answers as to like what he was going through that he wants to be seen as a tiger, or because right now I'm asking like what does it mean to him, right? So if with this dolphin, it's something that he can have fun with. To me, dolphins symbolize fun, but it's something smart, so it's not necessarily surface level, right? Maybe to us it's like, okay, he's just playing around a little bit too much. But I do feel that with this dolphin, it kind of symbolizes that to him is something that, yeah, it's fun, but dolphins are also pretty smart mammals. So I'm pretty sure that it will be kind of like, it has a little bit more depth to it than we may think. However, it's very straightforward as well. I feel that it is. I just haven't necessarily figured it out. Okay, yeah, like what I'm saying, yeah, it's true. However, I feel that there's more to it, but I'm not too sure if it's a good idea. that's necessarily it. I just don't know how much I can push it to understand, like how deep I can go to push it and understand it. But yeah, we also have 20, which reduces to a 2, which means that to him is a sense of balance. It could be the line between two worlds. Also with the swan, that one kind of reminded me of this. This is in a completely different deck that I don't have, but I love that card, which is like in between two worlds, which it shows a flamingo, and in one world, it's the image is divided in half, and one half is colorful, and the other half is in black and white, which is supposed to symbolize, how you're in between those two worlds, right? So I do feel that there's a sense of balance, or going between one world and the other. So that could be his transition between his real self and his I guess artistic persona, could be potentially. The other thing that I'm getting with this one spirit, we have 60, which reduces to a 6, which is also about balance. I see that as a card of balance within giving and taking, because right now I'm having the image of the 6 of Pentacles in tarot. So yeah, let me take out more cards just to see what was Hoshi going through when this idea popped up. This idea being seen as a tiger. So the what the fuck? So we have pig, beware of greed. What? Okay, what else? What situation was he in when he wanted to be seen as a tiger? What? My hands are small. It's so hard to shuffle this without like dropping like a gazillion cards. Okay, so apparently it could have happened in October. That one just kind of fell in my lap. Since we have a lot of cards, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5. Do I want them all? No. Since I don't want all of them, I'm just gonna take the bottom. So we have boot. Increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. So this is definitely, to him, he may have been in a period where he felt like he needed something more. He needed to express himself more, potentially. I'm not too sure what the greed could have been, but it could have happened in October. So during, when everything dies and when everything dies. No, October could, what is that? It's fall season. That's what I mean by everything dies. So all of nature goes back into like hibernation. Is that what you call it? So all the leaves fall. So to me, that is symbolizing the beginning of the end, right? Autumn is when everything is getting closer to winter, and winter could be seen as a period of ending, right? Everything is asleep. Everything is being kind of like resting for the next season, right? Like that kind of feeling, right? So it feels like maybe he was going through a period of ending a cycle, or he was going through a period where he was doing a lot of self-reflection. It could have been in October, but I do feel that season could symbolize that. I'm also getting like, what do you think of when you think of October? Well, for me, cold. I think of it being cold, right? I also think of Halloween. So maybe that's when, he decided, I'm going to wear this, right? And this being like a tiger image. It could have been like, this is the expression I want to use, right? I mean, I do feel that Halloween is when everyone wears the costumes that they desire, and for a couple hours or for that day, they become whoever it is that they want to become. So maybe it could have started as a joke, or it could have started as in like, yeah, I do feel like it could have started as a joke, and then slowly it did become very important to him and significant to him. But we have beware of greed and increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. So I do feel that instead of greed, I do feel that Hoshi is an overachiever. I do feel that, yeah, that could be seen as greedy in a way, but it could also be as an overachiever, right? It depends what perspective you have. But I do feel that with him, it could have been that he really wants to show I keep coming back to power, probably because he took out that song called Tiger Power. I listened to it before recording this video because I wanted to be in his energy and trying to kind of connect to that to get like a little bit more of an accurate reading for him. But yeah, it does feel like he was going through a period where he wanted to push himself break a boundary or a limitation within himself. So maybe he was trying to overcome like a limiting belief, or he was trying to break free within his own mind. I do feel that something that could have happened is that he had to take a step back to reflect, because I have a feeling he could have been getting it in his own way, like he was stopping himself somehow. And yeah, let's take out more cards. I want to know, okay, Hoshi, what do tigers mean to you? I want that. Sure, that one too. So, what do tigers mean? So we have cable, involvement with the law. Okay. And then we have diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. So with the involvement with the law, I thought it was funny because to me it kind of felt that what the tigers mean to him is like now it has become law. Like it's not he ain't joking around. It's the truth. It also feels like it's just like how things kind of came out to be. What was one thing? Laws are not meant. Laws are not meant. What the fuck? I can't put my thoughts together. Once in history class, we talked about it, and it was kind of like laws are not made. We're not made to prevent something. The laws are usually made after the fact, right? So that's like the best way I can explain it. But my brain is just not working. I just woke up. I just woke up and did this reading, right? So, and I did not sleep well. So I am on that fifth dimension from the beginning, but like a lazy, tired fifth dimension. So yeah, so to me, kind of, I just thought it was funny because it was like, this is law, you know, I want you to see me as a tiger, law, right? Like, I think that's why he always fights when people call him hamster. But, you know, can you blame them? Like, I love Hoshi, but yeah, when he's on stage, he does have the intensity that you could be like, oh yeah, he tiger, but I don't really think he's embodying the tiger energy that well yet. He's a little bit too loud to be a tiger. But we'll discuss that a little bit later. Then we have diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. So I do feel that to him, being seen as a tiger is some sort of blessing. But because to him it means it means the gift of, what am I getting? The gift of improvement? No. The gift of achieving more, or the gift of receiving more? I don't know. I guess the best way I can explain that, like I'm getting something, but I'm not too sure how to express that in a couple of words. So I guess I'll just describe it. It kind of feels like this is a gift of equal give and take, which is something that we've kind of been getting with that 2 and that 6, right? Equal, balance, give and take. And he gets a sense of freedom after a moment of silence and reflection. So it kind of feels that to him, a tiger symbolizes the best way that he can give all of himself out there, potentially to the fans. Now I'm saying potentially to the fans because I do feel that he does get something in return, and that is, I feel, self-satisfaction. Like I do feel that to him the tiger symbolizes the gift of being able to give and equally receive in return. So receive in return, yeah, okay, I thought I was being redundant right there. So it kind of shows that he's able to express himself, especially because diamonds, of course, makes me think of carrots, right? I say of course, but in this case, yes. So it kind of shows to me that he feels to him the tiger symbolizes a way of, this is just how life is, and it also symbolizes a way of like, I can give you guys all of myself to you and get a lot in return because I'm satisfied with it, if that makes sense, right? So to him it symbolizes equal give and take. It symbolizes a sense of this is just how things are now, and all of that. Now the other thing that I want to check is actually answer the question that the person commented, which is why does he want to be seen as a tiger? We have butterfly, a change for the better. Of course, transformation again, that kind of goes with the sun. And the other card that we have is a peacock, beware of great pride. So it seems like this is like borderline, be careful. Like I do feel that there's this warning of like you want to have power, you want to show this strength and this side of you, but be careful in not pushing it too much. I don't know why he should be careful. I guess it's all those things that if you... I love Hoshi. I really do. I love my boy. However, I do feel like he needs to tone it down sometimes, because it's all those things that he's pushing his tiger agenda so much that it has become a joke almost. Like, he can't be taken seriously, because instead of working and embodying that tiger, he's kind of forcing it upon everyone to see him that way. Hence why he gets mad when he's being called a hamster. You know what I mean? And so it's all those things that he does need to be careful. We have beware of greed and beware of great pride. So I do feel that there's this sense of, yeah, you have transformed and you do want to use this tiger as a bridge or as a medium to express this sense of freedom, this sense of power, and use that as some sort of like self-expression, right? That's kind of like what we've been getting. So I do feel that with this, also this peacock spirit is kind of like someone that likes to show off, someone that likes to be confident. So I do feel that there's this sense of, yes, you're using this as a tool to like visualize himself in whatever energy he actually wants to be, right? Which is some sort of freedom and balance of give and take as an artist, as an individual, and as an idol, like all of that, right? However, it does feel that there's this thin line or something along those lines, that life is like, be careful. You're pushing it, so if you continue pushing this agenda so much, people will not take you seriously, and that will just anger you, right? It's kind of like when you're forcing the law upon people, instead of being like, this is the law, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, we get it, we get why this is coming from, like, we get it, right? It makes sense. It's almost like an abuse of power, right? Like, be careful. Like, that's the only warning I'm seeing here. Like, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily annoyed with him being a tiger. The only thing that kind of bothers me with it is that it feels like he's not embodying what a real tiger is. But that's just me. That's just my, my Aries energy being like, he embodying the energy. Nah, fake. But that's not his fault. He's just not there. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing bad. It's just, he's just trying to reach a certain energy, whatever. I say whatever, but we technically already know what a tiger means to him, right? So he wants to be seen as that, and he's using this tiger as a physical tool to embody that energy. However, I do feel that he's not there yet, and there's technically nothing wrong with that. The only warning is that he should not abuse that power, and the way that he can abuse it is the way that he kind of already has done, which is kind of like just tell people off, like, I'm not a tiger, right? But here's the thing, they can tell him off because there's he butthurt in a way, you know what I mean? Not necessarily butthurt, it's like there's baggage there. That's why people can step on it, poke on it, and put it on his face. He hasn't I don't think he's joking when he's like, don't call me a hamster, I'm a tiger, right? But he's not embodying the tiger, so people can clown him about it pretty easily because he's not embodying it. Now, let me ask, how can Hoshi embody the tiger energy? Oh, 2 cards just jumped out. Oh, jeez. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles reversed, we have the Tower reversed, and the 10 of Cups reversed. Those are not very nice cards. I mean, they're very nice. They are. Except the Tower. I mean, that one is kind of difficult. It's a challenging card. They're not necessarily bad. They're just not great, especially since they're reversed. So, how can he embody that tiger energy? Let's see. One of the things that I'm kind of getting is that the way he can embody the tiger energy is whenever he's emotionally satisfied. So it could be, I mean, I don't think this is talking about family, not at all. I'm saying that because this is a family, right? The Ten of Cups is supposed to represent the happy family, because that's the ending of a cycle of happiness, right? Of a emotional fulfillment. But with him, it kind of feels that it's reversed, because he's not necessarily emotionally fulfilled. When he is emotionally fulfilled, then he will be one step closer to embodying the tiger energy. And to me, a tiger energy is power, but it's like the silent type of power, which this King of Pentacles kind of symbolizes to me, right? It's like this strong Capricorn energy that is like, I don't need to show off for everyone to just feel how powerful I am, right? And power is a sense of having healthy control and maturity. And sadly, I don't think Hoshi has a maturity to be seen as a tiger, at least not in my standards, right? So how can he be free? He needs to get rid of this baggage, right? This baggage of feeling less than, or this baggage of not having emotional fulfillment. And I do think that with this Tower reverse, he is avoiding some issues. So his avoidance is a sense of immaturity. But big booty butt. Also, just because he's avoiding whatever Tower moments are out there doesn't necessarily mean immaturity. It could also mean that he's just afraid, and there's technically nothing wrong with that. But if he's aware that that's the issue, then of course he needs to start working on that, and that shows a sense of maturity, if that makes sense. Like, he doesn't need to have it all solved out and figured out. He just needs to start working towards it. Always working towards improving himself in that sense as well. Not only improving himself as an artist and like on his skills, it's also improving himself as an individual and as a person, and that works from the mind, the heart, and all of that, right? You know, physical work, mental work, and emotional work. And I do feel that right now one of the things that he's struggling with is the emotional work. The other thing is it does feel like he struggles a little bit with just having the earthy. He's not stable, let's put it that way. Like, he's not grounded. There you go. I mean, we already know that all of his internal planets in his natal chart are like fully Gemini. So he's very quick to just do things. He's very quick to just think. It's very spontaneous and sincere and all of that. Like, it is. However, when you have all of that energy, he doesn't have anything to ground him, right? He may have ideas that he cannot ground. He may have a lot of he may be like sucking in a lot of information and doesn't really know how to do that. Like, he could be in like overdrive all the time because of that Gemini energy. But I do feel that with this Tower moment, he's not taking the right actions per se. He's working so much within his head that he's not taking the right action, because Mars the Tower is represented by Mars, or it represents Mars energy, and Mars is the planet that talks about our desires. It talks about what we're passionate about, what drives us, what motivates us. And I believe his Mars will be in Gemini, if I said all his internal planets were in Gemini, but I will have to actually look at his chart. And if that's the case, he may be very good at thinking of ideas, but that doesn't mean that he's physically taking action to make them happen. So I do feel that there's this sense of he's living so much within his fantasy that he's not creating that in a physical way. I do feel, of course, he's working on his body, but I don't think he's doing it from a place of self-reflection and self-improvement. It feels like he's just doing it in a way of just satisfying the skills of his work, if that makes sense. So yeah, what does he have to work on? Figure out what the emotional issues are to be able to embody this tiger energy, face off whatever it is that, you know, come face to face to whatever it is that he's afraid of, and kind of challenge whatever it is that he tends to reject or tends to be resisting against. Like, there's something holding him back. He needs to start working towards that, because that's holding him back action wise. And also start all of those two things will actually kind of help him in his maturity. So I do feel that, I'm not saying he's necessarily immature, but I kind of am. I do feel that it could also be that he's just not aware. When you don't know what's wrong, then you don't really know what to work on, and you just kind of go in this like loopy loop, like you're just in this cycle for no reason. So I do feel that could be because he's just not aware, and when he figures it out, then he'll know what to start working towards, right? But yeah, it seems like there's still like a lot of things that he doesn't want to look at right away. he's a very happy person, but that's a mask. I'm not saying he's not happy like always. I'm just saying that that doesn't mean that he doesn't have issues. So let's just ask one last time. Why does Hoshi want to be seen as a tiger? The world. Perfect. Nine of Pentacles. So just to wrap this up, let me ask again. Why does he want to be seen as a tiger? We have the world, we have the Nine of Pentacles, and we have the Ten of Pentacles. So he wants to be seen as a tiger because he feels a sense of independence. He feels a sense of closure and being able to not only provide for himself but for everybody around him. And with the world, we have this with the world reversed. It feels like he still hasn't figured out a way to like be stable, so he's using this tiger as a way to ground himself and stabilize himself. It feels like it's a way of like bringing down his ideas from his intellectual side into a physical world, right? So it kind of goes play with this two worlds type of thing, right? Of like, yeah, I don't want to like go back into that. I almost got dizzy talking about it. So also with the world, it's surrounded by the fifth signs of the zodiac, which is let me go in order just to not confuse myself. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, which is supposed to symbolize what is it called? Signs that are very fit within their values. They're fit signs because it's very hard to shake them from whatever it is that they believe in. It's very hard to shake them from whatever it is that they put their mind into. So I do feel that Hoshi, being very Gemini, he's a mutable sign, meaning that he's very fluid. He is kind of like never really grounded, never really one shape, right? So I do feel that he uses tiger to kind of ground that energy, especially with these two pentacle cards. So it feels like for him is like that is his only way of grounding whatever thoughts, ideas. So again, that self-expression kind of comes back. That's his way of grounding it, and that's his way of making it a reality and kind of putting it out of his head and making it true, right? The other thing that I'm kind of getting is that he feels like independent. Again, this sense of like being in his own paradise, so kind of being like in his own fantasy in a way, being able to be independent for sure with the Nine of Pentacles, but then it kind of translates into this Ten of Pentacles, which is being able to share your fortune and your skills, abilities, or whatever it is that you physically have to others, right? So that kind of made me think of this Diamond card, right? Being able to receive and being able to give a gift, right? So this equal and balanced give and take type of energy. So I guess it kind of feels like it's a temporary, it's kind of like a band-aid, right? To me, the tiger, based on how it works with Hoshi, it kind of feels that the tiger is kind of like a band-aid to whatever is like a bigger issue that he has, which is some baggage, some sense of not being emotionally fulfilled, being afraid of something that sometimes gets in the way of his motivation to continue into his creative endeavors potentially, or just his life aspirations, and something that makes him feel like he doesn't have power. There's this sense of not having power. So I guess it could be one of the consequences, one of the natural things that could happen when you don't when you're in a company, right? He's an idol. He's technically just a normal worker. He's been kind of told what to do. He does have some some creative liberties, as being the leader of the performance team. So he does have the ability to just take things out whenever he wants, and to his voice will be heard potentially in the things that will be done. However, he's still not really that high. He's higher than some other members, but he's not that high up there in the power scale, in the hierarchy of power within his company, especially after Pledis was bought out. Then he definitely doesn't have the power to say what goes and what doesn't go. So yeah, even though he may it may seem to us that he does, he technically doesn't. If something doesn't happen, it's not going to happen. So that's unfortunate, right? But I do feel that there's something that it's kind of like, that's how I see it within the workforce. I don't know what other areas of Hoshi's life could make him feel like he doesn't have the power to do something, right? There's also this sense of like, when the world is reversed, to me that kind of symbolizes this stagnation energy of things are not working out the way that you wish they would. So it's kind of like you feel like the like fate and destiny is against you almost. But I do feel that if he's feeling this energy, it could be one of two things. One, he's just not patient for things to just kind of settle down in the way that they have to, or number two, he's simply resisting the path that he's meant to be in. And there's technically nothing wrong with resisting, but just how long can he resist the path that he kind of set himself out to be in, right? It's all those things that, why swim against the current when you can go with it, right? So I do feel that if he grounds himself, it will be very easy to go with the flow, because he's not losing himself. He already knows who he is, he already knows what he wants in life, and he feels already pretty satisfied with what he has, you know, kind of building home within himself. And then, you know, anything goes, you know, the world can end and he'll be happy. Why? Because he's doing what he's doing for himself, and that's fine. That kind of energy, right? So I do feel that to him, tigers are simply a way to symbolize something that he has not reached yet. But he clearly desires to be in an energy of freedom, an energy of being liberated, an energy of self-expression, and an energy of power. Power being a very big thing, especially when he got a card of be careful of pride and greed, right? To me, those are cards that could be seen as false power for some people. You're very greedy. It could be physically getting so many things to show that you're powerful. Pride could be of those things that you feel that you have everything, that things have to go your way, and because of that, that's your way of feeling a sense of power, right, and control. So I do feel that with him, that's the issue, right? Not the issue, that's just how it works, right? I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong, that's just how things are. So with all of that said, I will just leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it interesting, or that you learned something from Hoshi. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I felt this was very random. And thank you for the person that commented, you know, like, why does Hoshi want to be seen as a tiger? I think that was a very, you know, interesting thing to look at. Thank you for everyone that watched this video. Thank you so much for staying till the end. I think this is going to be very lengthy for no reason. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna shut up and see you all next time. Whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing from my part to you. And bye. For realsies. Bye. Should I do the horanghe? I'm so cringe. Those are tiger claws. That's for you, editor. Get rid of that. You can leave it if you want, but like, get rid of it.